Time for our Business Insight segment this week. This episode, we learn how to protect your personal assets when you own a business. So welcome to our Business Insight segment this week. I'm here with Vince Caracella with Caracella and Associates PC, attorneys at law. Thanks for being here, Vince.
Happy to be here. Thank you.
So we're talking about corporations and companies today. So if I have a company and I'm incorporated LLC or what have you, what are some risks that I might have to people being able to pierce that veil and actually come after me personally?
Yeah, that's a big question that gets asked at our firm a lot. One of the biggest mistakes that people make is that they will form a company with their spouse.
Okay.
Bad move. Because if for some reason, a claim comes in that pierces the corporate veil, that judgment creditor can take everything that both spouses own.
Oh, okay.
So that could be your house, your investments, your savings account, money, whatever. So it's always better to have one spouse own things that are associated with liability, and businesses are associated with liability. Like a lot of times people come into my office and I ask them, are the cars in single spouses' names? Well, no, my spouse and I do everything together. You know, if you have a car that's in both names, if a claim occurs that pierces, that actually gets paid off by the insurance, and the claim is higher than what the insurance is.
Right.
What will happen is that they'll be able to just take the insurance proceeds and then still come after husband and wife for the balance.
So you don't want that.
No. And the same thing would happen with a company, a limited liability company or a corporation. So you always want to hold that entity with one spouse, so your other stuff is protected.
Right.
So for example, the good stuff you want in both spouses' names, like a house, savings, investments, also things that have to do with 401k plans, things like that. But the bad stuff that have liability associated with them, one spouse's name. That would be a car, a boat, an investment property, a business. So that's how you protect yourself.
Any other advice you think for?
Yeah, if you have a limited liability company, sometimes you run it a little loosely because you say, well, it's just me doing business with me because the company is owned by you.
Right.
Well, a good thing to do would be if a judgment creditor wants to pierce the limited liability company, what they can say is well, it's really just your alter ego because you're not treating it like a separate person under the law. You're treating it just as you. So the way you get around that is if you're going to put money into the limited liability company, put it in as a loan. If I was going to borrow $5,000 from you and you were inclined to lend it to me, you'd make me sign a note.
Right, right.
Okay, so you would make your own company sign a note. Because that's good proof that you're not treating it as your alter ego. You're treating it basically as a separate person under the law.
So basically, if money goes back and forth between me and my company, I always make sure to note it as a loan.
Right. And what we like to do is we have our clients, we prepare a revolving line of credit note for our clients. Yeah. That way you don't have to do a new note every time you put money into the company. Right. Let's say you do a $100,000 revolving line of credit note. You can put $10,000 in, take 5 out, put 20 in, take 6 out, back and forth.
But you've got the basically the line that sits there.
But if ever a judgment creditor wants to try to pierce that corporate veil, you say, oh no, Your Honor, I've got this note that I made my company sign. I'm treating it just like it's a separate person under the law.
Cool. And you had mentioned having minutes for your company every year, even if you're a small business. Now, what type of company does that apply to that could get me in trouble?
If you have a corporation and you're not doing yearly minutes of shareholders and directors meetings, even if you're by yourself, you have to have the minutes. You got to put them into the book. You risk losing protection from liability because you're not following what's known as the corporate form.
Okay. So make sure I have a board meeting with me, myself, and I to make that happen. Got it. All right. Thank you so much, Vince, for being here today.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks, Vince, for that valuable information. If you have a topic you'd like on this segment, let us know by commenting on our YouTube channel.